Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Trey coming back at you, and it's been a long time since I've actually done any kind of uploads. Really been busy with school, trying to finish up a bachelor's degree in psychology, which luckily will be done as of May 12th, so you will be seeing some more uploads from me. Now, one thing I actually wanted to do as my first video was kind of give you an idea of what my goals are as of doing YouTube. Really I kind of got into the community watching a lot of Call of Duty commentators, video game commentators, and I kind of wanted to do something like that, but that market's so saturated right now with people trying to get in. Really some of my biggest influences is Chaos Silencer, Minnesota Burns, Mr. Technical Difficult, all the guys from PKA, Wings of Redemption, Woody's Gamertag, all that are, all those awesome people, and of course, FPS Russia, Kyle, everybody. I mean, they're amazing. I mean, they really are. But they were able to come out at a time where the Call of Duty market wasn't so saturated. They kind of kick-started it for the most part. Now, people like Wings and Hutch and everybody, when they started doing this was kind of a fairly new thing. But what I've started to realize is I don't want to limit myself just to doing gameplay commentaries. What I want to do, in all reality, is have a very diverse channel. So, go ahead and let you know a little bit about myself. I'm 23 years old. I live in North Carolina, very big into the Bible Belt area. You have a church basically 5 feet from each other in a span of 20 miles. Not a bad thing, but there's a lot of connotations and notations and notions that really run into the issues that I come through on a day-to-day basis. Like, as you see, I'm rocking an amazing Faith No More t-shirt, version 2.0, probably one of the best bands that ever lived. I mean, they marketed themselves as something different. So, a little bit more about me. As you can tell from the shirt, I am a huge metal fan. As a matter of fact, this shirt came from an awesome website called Rockabilia.com. I will leave a link in the description. You guys go check it out if you're fans of heavy metal. They have t-shirts, hoodies, patches, keychains, belt buckles, whatever you can imagine they have, and just about any band you can imagine they have. So, a lot of my channel is really going to go into depth with music. I'm a psychology major, which is what I'll be graduating from Appalachian State University with. And, I really appreciate what psychology is. It's definitely an amazing science, first off. So you're going to catch a lot of psychological, philosophical issues coming from my channel that way, some intuitive, inquisitive ideas that I want to make my subscribers think. So, what we're going to be looking at today is, pretty much one of my favorite topics to debate with people, and it's the fact of heavy metal somehow causing death, disparity, and violent acts. And it's preposterous to think that something as simple as music is going to cause somebody to do something just absolutely terrible, absolutely violent. Now, I'm not saying heavy metal music by any means is a non-violent genre of music, but what I'm saying is, for most of us fans, we plug into heavy metal music to get a grasp on life. It's our stress reliever. We give into inhibition when we listen to it, and our mind kind of just releases itself from any pressure or any stress. I know heavy metal music has always been there for me when nobody else would be, and it feels amazing to be able to plug in my favorite Slayer, Faith No More, Rage Against the Machine album, and just let all my worries melt away. Unfortunately, not everybody sees it that way. A lot of people see the heavy metal community as a bunch of lowlifes, rejects, dumbasses, and murderers, rapists, whatever it may be. Which, in all reality, that's probably the furthest thing from true. What I really have an issue with is when I go out, I'm wearing a Merciful Fate King Diamond t-shirt, and they see it and they automatically think I'm a devil worshiper. I mean, sure, King Diamond, Merciful Fate, that kind of music was centered around a shock value. You go back to the 80s, you're going to find that the most shocking things came in the form of music. It wasn't in the form of videos or anything like that. It was in the form of music, because at that time, the market for videos was so saturated in bullshit that the only way for most musicians to really get their point across was to create vivid imagery in music. And that pissed a lot of people off. You know, this was the Reagan era, very conservative era. People, I mean, especially teenage males, for the most part, and even teenage females, didn't like where their country was at the time. It was conservative. Everybody was just, immersed greatly in the idea that we must follow things a certain way. So, the 80s style of music, thrash coming about, then the spin-offs of thrash, grindcore, black metal, death metal, everything like that. They were ways of expressing how conforming to that era of time was not what you had to do. A lot of these bands, Merciful Fate, Slayer, everything like that, they're not Satanists, but they push topics that push people's buttons. They wanted topics that were edgy, that were going to catch people's attention, and that were going to get people talking. I mean, let's face it. Any of the metalheads out there, yeah, we've all, not even just metalheads, people in general, we have all thought about, I would love to punch that asshole. I would love to stab somebody in the neck today. But we don't do it. These guys were living out their fantasies, their sick and twisted fantasies that they knew that they could not do in life, and they lived them out in their music. There's nothing wrong with that. That was their release. That was their stress relief on life. And they were amazing musicians, so what better to perfect your art than to put your own personal ideologies into it and make it something amazing. So, to all those people who feel that if you listen to heavy metal music, you're somehow making a absolute fool of yourself because you're listening to people who worship the devil and worship the Dark Lord and all this other stuff, get over yourself. Why don't you plug in an awesome album and just listen to it? It's like Kerry King said. You can get two things out of a Slayer album. You can listen to it, get a really good message out of it, or if you don't give a shit about the message, you're going to listen to great music. So, my question to my 3 subscribers right now is, do you really feel that heavy metal music has corrupted anybody in any certain way? You look at it this way too. Philosophy was seen the same way when Socrates was around. People thought he was corrupting, but now we revere Socrates as one of the greatest minds of all time. Is this what the road we're going to go down? 300 years from now, people are going to view Slayer and Anthrax and Exodus and all these other bands who had important messages that now apparently corrupt the youth. Are we going to view them 300 years from now as having a distinct positive message? I'll let you decide. But guys, I really do appreciate your time. Once again, I'm Trey, and I definitely want to thank you for stopping by the channel. Hit the subscribe button, like the video up, and we will definitely talk to you at a later date. Peace.